Hey folks, welcome back to Challenged. Well, I'm working on my 66 Bel Air. Actually, it's almost done. I'm down to a few punch list items at this point, and one of them that I'm working on is the wiper motor. And I bet there's a lot of you that have these cars and the wiper motor doesn't work. Well, you can send them off to have them rebuilt, but it costs anywhere from $400 to $600 to do that. And you can't seem to find them rebuilt by a company or, remanufactured by like Cardone. It's really difficult to figure out what to do with this wiper motor. So most of the time you're stuck sending it off to someone and spending a ton of money. Well, I found a workaround on this. Real quickly, we'll talk about how to get this thing out of the car, and it's actually not very hard at all. There's a bolt right there, a bolt right there, a bolt right there, and then it connects to the transmission arms with this thing. And if you get the wipers in a specific spot, then it's easy to get this arm to fit out through this hole. And the nice thing is just right over here, there's a little inspection cover. And so if I had some light, you could see inside of there, you'll be able to see the wiper arms and all of that kind of stuff. You don't actually need to access this area to take it apart, but it's nice just to be able to see what you're doing. Once you get everything in the right position, this is sticking out. There's a nut on the back side of this, which connects to the shaft to your unit there, and you just take that nut off and then the whole thing comes off. There's a couple of electrical connections. Let's see, so this one right here is to the washer. This one goes to the motor itself, and then this one is the main power wire that goes to the motor. Disassembly is not hard at all, except these are really small bolts that go in here, and all three of mine broke off. And you can see them here, they're nice and short. So I drilled it out, and I've got some 1/4-20 bolts that I'm gonna put in their place. I just drilled these to the proper size, re-tapped them, and then it'll all go back together. Hopefully you guys don't have that problem, but even so, it just wasn't that difficult of a fix. All right, so we start by talking about the motor. So this is the original motor, this is my replacement motor. This one actually comes from, well, I bought all of this stuff from Rock Auto, but the part number is Cardone 40-162. This I sourced off of a 1978 Chevy Malibu with 2-speed wipers. Actually, in the mid-70s, it's on the vast majority of the vehicles that are there. But again, it's specific to 2-speed wipers. We aren't getting variable speed wipers for this. It would take a whole different switch and a lot more work, and I'm not willing to do that. This car came with 2-speed wipers. That's what we're going back with. Keep it simple, stupid. So as you can see, these things look pretty much identical. The only thing that I could find that was different was the diameter of this basically bolt slash shaft is a little smaller on the original than what it is on the replacement. However, if you measure out the indexing part down here, this side as well as that side, it's exactly the same as what this is. So this will fit through that original little bracket that goes over there, so no big deal with that. At the same time, I picked up a new washer motor, again for 2-speed wipers. It's from Rock Auto. This one's a GM 89001124. I'm sure they probably have some cheaper ones, but this just wasn't expensive. Between these two things, it was right about $100, which I didn't feel was too bad, especially considering if I sent it off, it was gonna be $450 to $500 to have it done. When we flip the motor over, the original motor, as you'll see, the washer pump itself just has 2 spade terminals there. Same with this one, has 2 spade terminals. I still have to put this on here. Right down here is where the original plugs would be. So this one up here would be a power wire, and then these 3 down here are just another connector that goes with it. This power wire actually jumps from this middle one to this middle down here as well. The reason for this was it was 2 different wiring harnesses. The power came from the engine wiring harness, whereas the part that has those 3 spades goes to the wiper switch. The new pump moves these wires over just a little bit. Shouldn't be a big deal, but it only has these 3. So we'll have to do a little modification to make this power and that terminal connect together. With all that said, this has all of the mechanism to do your manual the washer pump if you want to. Again, I got a replacement, and believe it or not, there's nothing on the back side that's manual about it. This thing is completely electronically controlled. So it'll just do like a 3-second little spurt of fluid whenever the switch calls for it. So this just bolts right onto here with a screw there, and another one there. As we put this on, we want to sandwich this, this between the body of this as well as the body of the washer pump. This is our grounding tab that grounds it from here to there. So take one of our screws. We're actually going to, not going to be the easiest thing, just try to hold that sucker in place, get it down in, and then put a little pressure, get our screw started. Oh, my little shaky. And voila, there's one out of the 3 pretty much done. Get the other 3 or other 2 in, and we'll be ready to install it on the car. All right, let's get this sucker put in place. Not the easiest thing, but this thing does move around a little bit. First thing is just kind of get it lined up with it. Okay, got some threads through. I'm gonna start the nut on the back side until I can get everything aligned, and then at least it'll hold it in place. Oh, this is hard. Is it going? I was able to get this bolted in. Honestly, wasn't all that big a deal to get that spline lined up with that original bracket. Bolt, bolt, bolt right down there, and then we were ready to start wiring. Now, this yellow wire right here is the factory power wire. It originally came out of the harness right here. I cut it just a little bit to give us a little more so that it could fit all the way over, because right there is where everything is going to go in. And this right here is the original harness to go into that. Same deal, I had to pull out that grommet, slide that grommet back, which gave me about 2 more inches of length of this wiring harness right here, which was just enough to make it over there. Now, what I need to do, since I don't have a separate terminal to connect this to that then connects it to this pink wire, I need to combine these two. And there's different ways you can do this. You can just cut both, cut right here in the middle, and splice everything together. In my case, I'm going to depin it and put one of these guys in right here. So it's going to connect this wire and this wire. So it's going to connect into this original connector right here. So it's about the most factory way you can make it look if that's what you're trying to go after. To depin this pink wire right here, I'm just taking a small screwdriver, pushing it in this side right here, which pushes down on the little tab that holds it. I'll flip it around, and I should be able just to slide that guy right out. I'll take that wire, we'll snip off the original end. Do the same thing on the yellow wire, just snip it right there. Now we just strip the ends of these just a little bit. Don't need a ton. That's plenty. All right, so now I want to get those right next to each other, going in the same direction. This is where it's going to get tricky because I only have so much room right here. And if you're wondering where this little fitting thing came from, I rewired another car using an American Auto Wire set, and I had a bunch of stuff left over, so I kept it. Now we gotta crimp it, and this is an American Auto Wire crimper, so it is the correct one for this. Let's see, I want to do it this way. All right. Get in there. There we go. All right, so that's really in there and it's not going anywhere. Now we'll take this. There's a little groove that's right down there, so that's how you know where the tab goes. We'll just push that in until it locks in place. As we go to put this in, there are these little notches in this connector right here. These notches go on that side of this connector. Just get everything in place, push it in, and we're good. So this one says to put the pink wire on the negative and the white wire on the positive. We actually want to put, for our application, the pink wire on the positive, the black on the negative. That will make this pump work. And here's the finished product of everything. I did get the washer lines put in place. So this one that comes straight out is considered the in. So this goes to here. And if you're wondering about the pipe, just get vacuum pipe. It's the same thing as windshield washer pipe. This one is 7/32 for the feed, and then the outs come out of this little bottom right here, go to a splitter that comes with the new washer pump, and then it goes to 5/32 all the way to the spots that discharge everything. So if I go one click, that is the low speed, and then that's the high speed, which isn't much higher, but it's also dry. So let's kick on the washer. Ooh, it gets a lot faster whenever there's wetness on the window, but look, everything works. It does all the things it's supposed to do. Yay! And it parks. Well, that was a successful project and way cheaper than sending the original out for $400 or $500 to be rebuilt. If you are doing a numbers matching car, I totally understand, but for the rest of us, which is 99% of us, we just want to spend the least amount of money possible and have working wipers and washer motor. Again, this cost me right at $100 from rockauto.com, and it wasn't a hard install. Honestly, it was just remove and replace, and then just a tiny bit of wiring, which the wiring is extremely easy to do. I'm no expert, but this was pretty darn easy. I think you guys could do this as well. If you found this helpful, if you wouldn't mind, leave a comment down below. I'm really curious what you guys are working on. Or were you a kid driving around in one of these cars? It's amazing how many people I've had say, I used to drive, or you know, this is their first car, or their parents used to have one of these and they were passengers in them. Anyway, these are really cool cars. Let me know if it was helpful down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe for more good information. Stay challenged, my friends.